The Calabash Kids. A tale from Tanzania about respect and kindness towards others. Once there was a woman named Shindo who lived in a village at the foot of her mountain. Her husband had died and she had no children, so she was very lonely. She was always tired, for she had no one to help her with the chores. All on her own, she cleaned the hut and yard, tended to the chickens, washed her clothes in the river, carried the water, cut the food, and cooked her solitary meals. At the end of each day, Shindo would look to heaven and prayed for assistance.
Great Almighty, my work is too hard. Please send me help.
One day, Shindo was weeding her small field by the river, where she grew fruit and vegetables. Suddenly, a noble chieftain appeared beside her.
I am a messenger for the great Almighty. Here are some gourd seeds. Plant them carefully, because they are the answer to your prayers.
I don't know how these seeds are going to help me. Oh well, I'll plant them anyway.
Shindo was amazed at how quickly the seeds grew. In just a week, long vines trailed over the ground, and ripe gourds hung from them. Shindo brought the gourds home, sliced off the tops, and scooped out the pulp. She then laid the gourd to dry. When they hardened, she could sell them at the market. Shindo set one gourd by the fire. She wanted to use this one herself, and she hoped it would dry faster. The next morning, Shindo went to tend to her field. Meanwhile, back in the hut, the gourds began to change. They sprouted heads, arms, and then legs. Soon they were not gourds at all. They were children. One boy, Kitete, lay by the fire. The other children called to him.
Kitete, come help us.
Kitete helped his brothers and sisters down. Then the children ran through the hut and yard playing. They all joined in, except for Kitete. Because he had died by the fire, Kitete was slow-witted. So he sat by the fire, smiling widely. After a while, the other children began the chores. They cleaned the hut and yard, fed the chickens, washed the clothes, carried water, cut the firewood, and cooked a meal for Shindo to eat when she returned. When the work was done, Kitete helped the others climb back onto the roof. Then they all turned into gourds. As Shindo came home, the other woman of the village called to her.
Where did they come from? And why were they doing your chores?
What, children? Are you making fun of me?
But when Shindo reached her hut, she was astounded. The work was done. Even her meal was ready. She could not imagine who had helped her. The next morning, Shindo pretended to leave. Instead, she hid beside the door of the hut, peeked in, and saw the gourds turn into children. She heard the gourds call for their brother.
Kitete, come help us.
As the children rushed out of the door, they nearly ran into Shindo. She was too astonished to speak, and so were the children. But after a moment, they went on with their playing and then with their chores. When they were done, they started to climb back onto the rooftop.
No! No! You must not change back into gourds. You will be the children I never had, and I will love you and care for you.
So Shindo kept the children as her own. She was no longer lonely, and she became rich with fields upon fields of fruit and vegetable, with flocks of sheep and goats. She was rich because the children were all helpful to her. That is, all except for Kitete. He would still sit by the fire and do nothing but smile. Most of the time, Shindo didn't mind because Kitete was very sweet. But sometimes when she was tired or unhappy, she would get angry at him.
Why can't you be smart, like your brothers and sisters? Why can't you work as hard as they do?
One day, Shindo was out in the yard cutting vegetables for a stew. As she carried the pot inside the hut, she tripped over Kitete. She fell and the clay pot shattered. Vegetables and water were everywhere. Shindo became very angry and yelled at Kitete.
I told you to stay out of my way. But what can I expect? You're not a real child at all. You're nothing but a calabash.
The next moment, Shindo was horrified. She screamed. Kitete was no longer there. In his place was a gourd. She expressed her regret as the children crowded into the hut.
What have I done? I didn't mean what I said. You're not a calabash. You're my darling son. Oh, children, please help me do something.
The children looked at each other. They scampered up. They called out.
Kitete, come help us.
For a moment, nothing happened. Then slowly, the gourd began to change. It sprouted a head, then arms, and then legs. At last, it was not a gourd. It was...
Kitete!
Shindo had learned her lesson. Forever after, she was always careful about what she said to her children. And so, they gave her comfort and happiness for the rest of her days.